Hey, so we have a new SKU being added, GitLab for nonprofits. So we need to update our sync scripts to account for that. So I figured we'd do a quick pairing on how I do those.
Okay.
So we're in our project. Get rid of the Zoom thing. All right, so we're in our project. What I traditionally would do is go into the Salesforce.rb file because that's where we sync from Salesforce. And you'll notice we have this wonderful check plan by blah, blah, blah. And I think, okay, so we have that and we have Zuora. So we have two of them. Okay, so you'll notice we have a couple of these community ones because something like this would definitely be community. They're not entitled to support. So we just need to return community if sub.plan name C is equivalent to that. And all right, so that's what we would need to add there. We're gonna copy this and go down to our other. It's not a good thing I saved it. There we go. All right, so we're gonna copy that and go down to our other check plan for Zuora sub. And you notice this doesn't really have the community stuff. It's because it's going to be a customer sub, not a Zuora sub. But if we wanted to be thorough, we could also add it here. I don't know why I'm taking all that out when I copied it. Could do it here. We don't really need to worry about that one though, because there's not going to be a Zuora subscription for it. So we need to get rid of that. But the key thing here is looking at what would the plan be in Zendesk. So in this case, community, right? Because it's community sub, they're not entitled to support. So we would need to return community if the plan name is GitLab for nonprofits. That's all we really need to do for that one. And we want to make sure it's at the top. That way none of these other ones catch, because you'll notice it's return, 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 return. It'll stop this function immediately. So we want to add the community stuff at the top, because if it catches this stuff first for the plan name, it's done. It doesn't matter what else it says. Like it could say EDU program gold plan, but it's still EDU program. So this is still the principal thing. It's a matter of which one takes priority. So in this case, it says GitLab for nonprofits. We want it to do community. The reason we do the regex for it instead of just saying equals equals is because they could do Bob's Burgers dash GitLab for nonprofits. And at which point, if we did an equal equal, it would not catch it and it would continue going through all these other ones. And ultimately, it'd end up at custom because it's not going to match anything else. Or they could do, GitLab for nonprofits dash gold plan. Well, it's not a gold plan, it's a community plan. So we want to make sure we catch it that way. We don't want to be dependent on it always saying that. We do want the regex to be specific enough, though, that we catch it. Because if I just did nonprofits, okay, but if we have a company actually pay us for a, ultimate plan and their name is nonprofitsforyou.com or something, we don't want that getting caught. Obviously, if a company files their name as EDU or OSS, we might have a problem, but I figure cross that bridge when we get to it. So that's pretty much all we need. We can go ahead and copy our branch here, do a git checkout-b. We're going to add, you should always cop, make sure it goes through everything. Yeah, there's probably a couple things that need to be fixed, but nothing blocking. So we're just going to keep moving. You can always come back later and clean up. All right, so we'll add it. And we'll add a commit message, accounting for GitLab for nonprofit SKU. I know I'm so original. And then we're going to push it to our branch. I'm real bad about remembering what branch I'm on, so continue to do that. Git push origin 2. And the GitLab UI is nice, or the GitLab return is nice enough to give me an MR. or pre-filled MR link. Okay, so issue 2 is what it should be linked to. Confirm that. Cool. It is linked there. Our title's good. There's not a corresponding support team meta. I'm the manager, so I'm going to just remove that because I don't need my own review. I would normally link the support team meta if one exists, but really what this links back to is a finance issue, so I'll link that. And we're going to give it a normal priority. And we're going to give it support ops change. Give it a change 3. Given the lateness, it's not going to hit this due date. So we'll change our milestone to the following month because we're definitely with a change 3, even though it's a 1-week notice, it's the 20. Well, I guess with the 22nd, we could make it. I would say normally we have whoever's going to deploy it make that decision. So what do you think, Sarah? Think it'll be ready for deployment by the end of the month?
I think we're okay.
All right, then we'll keep it at that. Keep it in draft mode because we want to review it first, make sure it's closing that. Always make sure these 2 boxes are checked. Click merge requests. All right, so we got that done. We got all our labels. Check our changes real quick just to make sure it still reflects what we wanted. Yep, there it is. And at that point, the other person, your other DRI, so Sarah, would review it and we'll go from there and then determine our deployment date. With the change 3, we only really need a week's notice, so we'll probably review it today and then announce sometime today when it'll be deployed, and then we'll merge it and all that fun stuff. So yeah, let me go ahead and stop the screen share. That's really all there is to adding SKUs, especially one that is so very straightforward such as GitLab for nonprofits. They can get complicated depending on naming and other stuff. So you tend to have to review what the other settings are and kind of determine how do we want this to fit in the priority order? How do we want this to be read as something that, like I give the example of EDU-gold plan. Well, EDU is what it really is. So it's community. So we want that towards the top. But something like paid EDU gold plan, we might want to actually catch the gold plan. So we would want to make sure our other statements don't contradict that. So it's kind of a matter of looking at what the SKU is going to be, what its name is. Occasionally, you might have to make sure, confirm with finance of, hey, 100% this is the name, because that's what we're actually using to determine all that. But that's all there really is to adding a SKU to the sync script for global. Federal is not too much different. The reason we don't bother with federal is there's other criteria to get into federal, and this specific SKU will never hit as federal. So there's not really a point in updating that. We could, it's just going to be a condition that'll never be hit because, there's other conditions to get the US federal. But in reality, that's all we really have to do. And then moving forward, the sync script will, handle that as they come. But any questions on that overall process?
Super easy.
Yep. So the key things for this will be, right now they ping me. I'll probably also have them ping you moving forward, and they'll ping us to say, hey, we're adding a new SKU. We just confirm, hey, confirm this is the name. And then we go do the code changes that we need to do and try to get it deployed in time for whatever they're doing. Never hurts to have it deployed beforehand. Hurts a lot to have it deployed after. So we always aim to do it beforehand. Cool. Any general questions, anything you want to know, any of that fun stuff? All right. Well, then we'll continue moving on that MR, but thanks for joining. Hope you found it educational.